A servant secretly tasted the king's forbidden white snake and suddenly understood every animal in the kingdom. Long ago, in a kingdom of golden towers and marble halls, there lived a wise king with a strange secret. Every day at noon, a silver-covered dish was brought to his private chamber. No one was allowed to see what was inside. Not his ministers. Not his guards. Not even his most trusted servant. The servant had served the king faithfully for many years. But with every passing day, his curiosity grew stronger. What could be hidden inside that mysterious dish? One afternoon, unable to resist any longer, he carefully lifted the lid. Inside lay a small white snake. The servant stared in surprise. It looked ordinary enough. Surely this could not be the king's great secret. Curious, he cut off the tiniest piece and tasted it. The moment it touched his tongue, something extraordinary happened. Outside the window, he heard two sparrows arguing. And to his shock, he understood every word. The servant rushed into the courtyard. The horses were talking. The dogs were talking. Even the ducks in the pond were gossiping. The white snake had given him the power to understand the language of animals. At first, he kept the gift a secret. But one day, disaster struck. The queen's precious ring disappeared. The king was furious. Everyone in the palace was searched. When the ring was not found, suspicion fell upon the servant. The king ordered him imprisoned unless he could prove his innocence. Heartbroken, the servant wandered through the palace gardens. There he overheard a group of ducks quarreling. One duck complained that another had swallowed something shiny. The servant gently caught the duck. And inside its stomach was the queen's missing ring. The king was amazed. The servant had saved himself. As a reward, the king offered him gold, land, and riches. But the servant chose something else. He asked only for a horse and permission to travel the world. The king agreed. And so the young servant set off on a great adventure. Days later, he came upon 3 fish stranded beside a drying stream. The fish gasped desperately for water. The servant carried them one by one back to the river. "Thank you," said the fish. "We will remember your kindness." Further along the road, he saw a colony of ants struggling to move their food before a storm. The servant carefully helped them gather every grain. "We will remember this," said the ants. A few days later, he rescued 3 young ravens that had fallen from their nest. The grateful birds promised never to forget him. Eventually, the servant arrived in a distant kingdom. There he learned of a beautiful princess. Many princes wished to marry her. But she would only marry the man who could complete 3 impossible tasks. The servant decided to try. For the first task, the princess threw a golden ring into the sea. "Bring it back," she said. The servant stared helplessly at the waves. But suddenly, 3 fish rose from the water. One carried the golden ring in its mouth. The servant smiled. His old friends had returned. For the second task, the princess scattered thousands of tiny seeds across a vast field. "Gather every single one before sunrise." The task seemed impossible. But during the night, countless ants emerged from the earth. By dawn, every seed lay neatly gathered. The servant's second task was complete. The princess frowned. No one had ever come this far. For the final task, she brought 3 identical caskets. Only one contained her portrait. The servant had to choose correctly. As he stood wondering, 3 ravens descended from the sky. One tapped the correct casket with its beak. The servant opened it. Inside was the princess's portrait. The kingdom erupted in cheers. The impossible tasks had been completed. The princess kept her promise. Yet he never forgot the creatures who had helped him along the way. For he knew that kindness, even to the smallest of creatures, often returns when it is needed most. And so they lived happily ever after. Follow Whispering Kingdom for more forgotten fables. The end.